I forgot that. I said it in the email. I forgot to add you here. We are just giving time for everyone to join so that I can start. We'll start exactly at 9:05. Thanks for being on time. Okay, guys, I'm going to get started. I guess if people are late, they're late. I don't want to waste your time. I'm sharing my screen. Thanks for joining. So this is welcome to the school year. This is the first time I'm doing something. We are doing this because it's all remote. So I wanted to make sure we are all in the same page as to the classes and how I think we can partner the best. The reason I thought about doing this is because last year's performance of Kappa and Lambda was not great, right? We all know I had to make every kid take the test, retake the test. And the retake test wasn't that great either. And for some kids, for some other kids, it was great. So we have made changes this year on purpose to make it more accountable and make it possible for us to identify issues. Some of the things we had issues last year were kids cheating on their homework. You will be surprised, but that was happening. And what do I mean by cheating is because they submitted the homework and we will mark questions right or wrong with colors. And, a kid will have a bunch of homework, problems wrong, marked red. And the next time I come back, all the red colors were removed, making it look like it was all correct. And that's when we revoked all the privileges and we started doing something with the comments. And the kids know, everyone was struggling to put the comments. We were taking a lot longer to correct it. All of that happened, and it happened precisely between kids in these two levels, you guys. So this year we have put a lot more effort. So let me walk you through everything quickly. So intro wise, who is teaching the classes, who is doing the lab, times and schedules, everything is in the first page. If there is anything here that is not comfortable to you, I should be hearing about it. I didn't get any email complaining. So this is the schedule. I am doing the lab for both the classes. Nitya is teaching the Lambda class and Ashok is teaching the Tau class. Okay. And the fact that all three Arun people are handling these two classes is how important I think these two classes are, that I want to make sure these kids are doing the right thing. Okay. And that's why I did all this drama of sending you emails about me teaching their lab, because I could not teach at the time that they had the classes from 5:30 to 8. That's why we did all of this manipulation of time so that I get to work with the kids. Okay. So it looks like we nailed the schedule, and this is what is going to stay. And then moving forward from there. Any questions on that? So everyone knows Nitya, everyone knows Ashok, everyone knows me. Rishi, he has been coming to Think for Fun since he was in 3rd grade. He's there, his camera is on. He's helping us with the homework, and you'll see why this is so critical. The way we are going to do homework corrections and forms and everything is very different this year. And it's super important, and Rishi was excited about doing this role. He's going to take care of the homework handling for Lambda, Tau, and Sigma. And if we need to do additional homework help sessions, which we are thinking we can do half an hour a week for kids to come and ask questions, Rishi is going to handle those as well. Okay, and we are going to do those sessions on a need basis if we have the, what is it called? If we have enough interest that, to justify opening a Zoom session and having kids come and ask questions. Okay, so remote learning. Please, all of this is not, I'm going to skip through this. All of you guys have been here for a while. So basically make sure that your laptop has a camera. We want the cameras to be on. If the camera, you don't have a laptop with a camera, you want the phone to have the camera, and then you can connect from the laptop. In all of these things is for us to make sure that the kid is paying attention. We don't want any virtual background for them, okay? We want them to be clear so that we can see their faces, we can ask questions, we can see from their expression that they are engaged. If they are not understanding and they're not asking the question, then we can ask them, hey, are you following? Can you tell me, etc., etc. That's why we want the camera on. If your computer doesn't have a camera, you can use your phone camera, and then they will work on the computer and they will have the phone, for us to see their face. Please remind them to log on to the class. Being late is bothersome because we cannot repeat. The kid is lost. We have to tell them what the steps are, what page. Please make sure that they are on time. They seem to forget to dial in. So in the past, we have had to call parents and then they are not there, and then the kid shows up 20 minutes late, etc., etc. Help us to keep the process going, okay? There is no new kids in these classes, so I don't need to share emails and so on. Missing a class. If you miss a class, I would like to see an email from the parent letting us know that you're missing a class, and the class will be recorded. The class time will be recorded and posted on YouTube, privately shared with you. The lab time will not be recorded. But I do want to see an email from you saying you want it, simply because, yes, I know when a kid misses, but I don't want to just be recording and putting that additional effort if the kid is not going to go and watch the video. So I want commitment from the parent that if you email me, it's because you care and you're going to have your child watch that video. And then we will put the effort to record it and post it. Lab sessions will not be recorded because it's group learning. We are playing stuff, going over homework. So it's a very informal thing. So I don't see value in recording the lab session. So only the class session will be recorded, and that's the hour and a half we are talking about. Notice that the way it's planned is the class time is hour and a half and the lab time is 1 hour. Based on last year experience, we believe that we need more time for the class. The kids are, based on how well they did, I think we are going to go slower, and we are going to do a lot more repetition with them in the class. You would think your kids are old enough and you wouldn't need to do this, but for some kids in these classes, they will benefit tremendously if you keep an eye on the work they're writing in their class books. The teachers are going to solve every problem on the board with the proper steps, right? So the kids are expected to have that work written in their class book. If they don't have it, if they have empty pages and they tell you, oh no, my teacher didn't solve this and stuff, you can come to us, but chances are that's not true, because the teachers have all the class books solved by me for them to watch exactly what kind of steps I want them to focus on, and they are duplicating that on the whiteboard. Obviously, all our teachers know what they're doing, but the reason they have a solved class book is because I want them to do it exactly the way I did it with the steps, so that we can, by repetition, these kids will be doing exactly the same steps everywhere, so that they don't miss their signs, they don't miss the exponents, they don't miss the fractions, etc., etc. So please keep an eye that the class books are being completed. Once in a while, if you need us, you can always scan the class book and upload it, and the teacher can go over it. I am not offering to do that for every class because it won't scale. We don't have the bandwidth. But once in a while, if you believe your child is not doing the right work, please scan the class book, upload it, and then we can go over it. And I'll show you what I expect you to do with uploading. That's in the next slide. But basically, you're going to be downloading Adobe Scan and Google Drive from your phone, and you'll be able to do all of this from the phone. The class will go as fast as or slow as the kid wants, which means the kid is expected to ask a lot of questions and make sure that they're understanding. The kids that are in Tau, right, and did not do well in Lambda, they will be seeing a lot of the Lambda content showing up in the homework, but the Tau, we are not going to keep explaining it again and again because Tau is going to do geometry. So though we do focus in algebra, those things are going to come up in the homework, and the expectation is for the student to look at their Lambda class book and review those concepts. we are not going to reteach it, right? Simply because not everyone will need the reteaching. So we cannot reteach a whole topic to one kid in a group learning. So the class books are there and the kids are expected to go over the class books and get the help they need during the lab or during the homework. Questions? This is on the class book. This is on the class work. Any questions?
So Priya, you're going to explain about how the kids are going to enter the homework this year, because last year I've seen it, at least with Amay, it was really frustration for him to enter it again and again and again, same answer till teacher says it correct, because he knew it was correct. So I don't know how things are going to be different this time.
So what happened last year was, I don't remember. Okay, so they put it into a spreadsheet, right? They did an initial entering and then it came into a spreadsheet. And then on the spreadsheet, we did the corrections. And then they had to put in new answers for the wrong answers. And it was not the teachers. I was also grading all of that. So if the answer was not right, it was because many times we were telling them, and I remember this clearly with Ame as well. Every time I did multiple times, no, it's because that was wrong. Maybe once in a while he was right. But the later corrections was done by people, us. This time what we are going to do, and this is my next session, is it's going to be more frustrating if they don't do it correctly. So this time, every homework is built as a quiz, meaning every question has points. Every question will have an answer plugged to the question. They have to submit the answer in the exact way we are expecting it. And that is the tricky thing here. So let me go to Lambda itself, for example, or Tau. Let me do Tau because you will see how complicated Tau homeworks are going to be. If they don't follow it correctly, they are going to be stuck. So, and this is going to take a couple of weeks to get adjusted, but I don't think it's rocket science in that way. So for example, so obviously email address, if they don't submit the email address correctly, they are not going to get the feedback. So this year, they can submit the homework multiple times, number one. They can do it as many times, they can correct their answers, but they're going to get immediate feedback as to how many questions they have right and how many questions they have wrong. You understand? By the tool. Obviously, there might be mistakes because this is man-driven. We put in the answers, right? So we are going to fine tune as we go. And this is where Rishi comes in the picture. He is going to keep a very close eye as to what kids are submitting at the beginning and making sure that whatever is wrong really and not something else. But for example, look at this, right? This is how an answer, this is a question, right? This is a word problem. The answer, I'm telling them the answer is X hours. So their format has to be this, 6 hours. And they have to write it like that. If they write 6 HRS, that's wrong. Because I can't write all possible answers, right? Because this is doing an exact match. So there is no way I can write all possible answers that the kid is going to give me. So the kid has to pay attention to what I wrote here as an answer and give it exactly that way. Look at the next one. This is a heavy algebra problem. Right? Look at the problem itself, right? I'm telling the kid, your answer is going to have this format. So look at it, right? So I'm telling the kid the answer is a y to the power of 4 plus b y to the power of 3 plus c y to the square. No spaces, nothing. Your answer is exactly that. So the two possible answers that I'm taking right here is the minus with no spaces, and I did one with spaces everywhere. But now if they do spaces sometimes and no spaces, then it's going to be marked wrong. So I don't have a better way to do this unless they have to pay attention as to the format, and they have to make sure that they're entering it in that format. The best way I can think of for them is to cut and paste this and then go and replace the A, B, and C's as a format, right? Then they will go on, their answer is going to have that. So Tau is going to be pretty challenging. Look at the kind of answers that I'm expecting. See the answers. And then they have to write it in order, right? By what is it called? By the degree of the terms, descending and all of that. So they have to write it in a specific way for us to make sure that this is correct. So Now, look at this, right? Once you submit the homework, guys, the kids are going to get this. Once you submit it, this is a Zeta example. There is a total point with scores, how many scores you got, and this is how many you have right and wrong. And now you can go back to the homework and resubmit it. They are going to get a link with the same, so the exact same answers they did, they can go back and change it and do the whole thing and resubmit it again. And then get the feedback. So this feedback is going to be instantaneous, right? It's not going to wait for someone to go through the spreadsheet. It's not going to have that human, we understood wrong and we gave you more feedback and stuff. But at the same time, it has the limitations that it's a tool. So unless you provide the answer in the exact format, it's not going to take it correctly. So that is going to come. Whatever you get wrong, then we are going to go over it in the lab in detail. Now, if the kid thinks that a specific problem they are absolutely sure they got right, then they should definitely email. And then we will go and check our own answers and see whether they have it right. But my experience with Tau, because they have not worked on polynomials and the problems are long and long and long, they're going to make mistakes. And the chances of two kids getting it exactly wrong the same way is very rare. So I will encourage the kids to email and we will sort it out. Now, going back to the homework, right? This, for now, this is how the homework is set up, right? It's not waiting for anyone to give feedback and stuff. As I said, they need to follow the suggestion for the answer structure so that they make sure that they are giving the answer in the exact way we are expecting it. Rule of thumb, they shouldn't be adding spaces anywhere. Other than if you have a mixed fraction, obviously you need a space. Or if you're going to write units, you need one space. But otherwise, they shouldn't be adding spaces anywhere in their answers. And we are going to be very explicit as to the format of the answer. So this, please tell your kids not to share answers. They can explain things to other people. They can tell them how to do it. They can teach it, but they shouldn't be sharing answers. I mean, this is a level where you really want to put in the effort, right? This is the problem we have with the homework, right? Unless the whatever answer we mark correct is because we put it in there as an answer, as an acceptable answer. We cannot write all possible combinations and permutations of what a kid is going to write as an answer. That's why they need to keep the format as closely as possible. Okay, that's there. What else? The expectation is for the kid to come to class with at least 80% of the homework correct, unless we made mistakes. But if we made mistakes and you are emailing us, we are also fixing those mistakes, right? So again, we are building all of this year. It's not like we already had it ready. We are rolling it out this year and we are working on those homeworks, and Rishi is making them. I am reviewing them. So that's how it is. It's extremely manual what we are doing. So we will have to adapt as we go. Questions?
Yeah, I mean, have you kind of thought about the old way? For example, the white books, the homework books, like it is small everything, and parents going and dropping it every week rather than kids going to the class. Parents go and drop it and collect it next week, corrected homework. Was that not an option?
And then, so I'll tell you why was not a successful option. The kids are going to have, if you do that, they're going to get half the homework wrong. Okay, that's in these higher levels, accuracy is not there. You have no idea how much we were spending literally an hour in the lab, these kids just fixing all the wrong problems before submitting the homework. And the reason we made them do that was because that's the only hope I had for them to put in the time to fix the problems. Now, if you give me the homework, I grade it and I give you a 4 because half the homework is wrong, how many kids do you think are going to sit at home and fix all their mistakes? How will that happen? And who is going to check now again whether those mistakes are right? So how do we do that feedback loop?
So here now they will get this quiz format homework, and they have the white books homework. So these are two different things now, is it?
No, they have the white book homework. They have to submit the answers to that, Prashant. So this is not a quiz. Look at this. This is Tau homework 1. This is the booklet. That booklet, I'm only asking them to put in the answer of what they got in their booklet. This is page 3, problem 2, which is a word problem. Page 3, problem 3. Page 4, problem 1. That's their booklet. They are going to do all the work on their booklet. Then they are going to submit their answers in this format. Then we are going to mark it wrong or right. Whatever is wrong, they need to go back to their book and fix it. We are not going to tell them what the answer is. And then they need to submit it again. Only those problems they got wrong. They're going to get instant feedback whether it's right, this time is right or wrong. They don't have to wait for anyone. So now they have incentive enough. And now if they are absolutely sure and they're still getting it wrong, that's when they're going to email us. So maybe there is a chance that we put in the answer wrong, or they're still getting it wrong and we are correct, then we'll tell them what's wrong, right? That feedback will happen. And then at the end of the day, they did all the work to fix it. They are putting in the mileage. And by the time they come to the class, hopefully they already have 80% of the homework correct. And we only focus on the 20% that is either wrong because we put the answers wrong or they need to be explained. That's what we are thinking, right? And the other suggestion was, can they scan it and post it? The same problem. If they scan and post it, and I give them half the, I mark it, right, as a test, and I say half the problems are wrong, now the next what? What do we do for fixing it? And how will they go and fix it? And then how do I again look at it to see whether they're right? Okay, I can do that. Or if you want, I can post the solution to everything, and then parents will have to sit and grade it at home. But that's Kumon style. But now, even if you grade it, how do you make your kid go and fix it? You understand what I'm trying to say? So I'm hoping this system will force them to actually fix their problems because they know it's marked wrong, right? I'm giving you instant feedback. So instant feedback, hopefully it will motivate them to go and work on it and fix it. Or find a mistake that Rishi and I made and tell us.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, what else? So let me go back to my questions. Again, it's not perfect, guys. I'm going to adapt it. I'm going to fix it. And I want kids to tell me what is working, what is not working. Please tell Amey to tell me these things that he told you, Prashant, because I wasn't aware of this. So Amey should be coming and complaining to me that we are making him put in the answer too many times and all of that, because I am sure that we will find a way to improve, right? So give us that feedback as things are happening. Okay, of course, every homework is going to have a different score. Okay, it's whatever points we end up, right? Word problems are going to have more points, certain mechanicals. This is something that Rishi and I are going to decide on the fly. And some homework will be worth 89 points, some will be worth 120 points. It doesn't matter. Just think that you want to get at least 80% of that correct by the time you come to class. That's the goal I would like the kids to have. So I forgot something. Please encourage your children to aim for the highest score on their first submission. This has no value if your kid is going to submit it and get a 20 and then 25 and then again 40, and then unless they left questions empty and they're doing it in pieces. But if you submitted everything and you got only 20% of the answers right, and little by little you are fixing everything, it has no value, right? Because SATs, you cannot go and do that. So the motivation here is, what is the highest score you can accomplish without fixing? So that should be the goal here for them. Okay. After the homework is returned, when you come and switch for homeworks, there is an additional step we are going to do, which is to go over the homework and actually make sure the kids are writing the work there. I'm not going to be validating the answers or anything because we're already doing it through the forms, but we are going to validate that the kids are actually writing their work and they're not cheating. They're not asking their friends to share their right answers and they're just plugging in answers and things like that, right? So the homework, word problems and stuff, we are expecting to see work. So we are going to go over it quickly to validate that, and parents will be contacted if something is not working out. We are considering doing a 30-minute homework help if kids are interested, but I need emails from kids letting me know they need help. And then Rishi will be running those to help them. Questions? I have one more slide. Okay, so here I'm going to put in all the effort, right? We are going to put in all the effort. There will be 3 sprints and 3 tests. Roughly think about it every 7 weeks, more or less, 7 to 8 weeks. So you get a sprint and a test. The test dates are already published, and we need to see whether that's going to adjust a little bit. But for these, I need you to scan it and upload it to a Google Drive. This is the proper thing. I am going to grade it properly. I am the one grading it, and the kids are going to get feedback, and you are going to see it on the Google Drive. So this is why I'm asking you to please download Adobe Scan and Google Drive in your phones, and I will tell you where to, I'll give you information as to where this has to be uploaded. And we will grade it, and we'll keep it there, and you will go and look at it. This is the moment of truth, right? If we are doing this homework properly, if the kids are putting in the effort, then we shouldn't see any surprises on the sprint and test. The last year Lambda test was a huge surprise. Kappa wasn't as bad, but Lambda was a huge surprise. So let's let's make sure that we are, as parents, you are helping us to make sure that they are writing all the work on their homework, and they are writing the work. I'm not expecting you to check it. All I want is for you to validate they're actually writing, and not like scribbling something and throwing answers. Neither Lambda nor Tau is a level where you're going to pull the answer from the hat, right? So they do need to do the work. Just make sure that you're encouraging them to do it neatly so that they can fix their mistakes and so on. Questions? We will be sharing the, I'm going to turn this into a PDF, and Arun will be emailing it to you guys, and we are doing a recording for people that missed, but it's there. Again, we are evolving. We learned a lot last 6 months when we did the remote learning. So whatever we are doing this time is whatever we learned. If your kid is having problem with the class, they don't understand something, the teacher is going too fast, too slow, they should be giving feedback right away. If the kid is shy to give feedback right away, please encourage them to give you the feedback so you can tell us earlier than later, guys. I don't know if feedback at the end of the year doesn't help us, right? Because we can adapt. So give us the feedback sooner than later so that we can adapt and see what we can do better. Any questions? We are done. I don't have any more to share. This is it. So email us if you have any questions. Let us know. For the Google Forms, again, the kids will learn. It's not going to be easy, but as they get the feedback, believe me, every time you get something wrong and you look at the answer format, they will start paying attention and they will adapt. I don't see more than 2 weeks of adjustment for them to get it all together. And as I mentioned, certain pages on the homework, we will ask to be scanned and uploaded. We will send email on that, meaning it's very hard for us to ask it in the forms. So we might, I am also considering that every week I might be asking for a couple of pages on the homework to be uploaded randomly based on what we want to see, right? So I need parents' help on that. I mean, most kids might have their own phones and so on, but please don't think that we are being overwhelming and stuff. We are trying to do the best we can, encourage the kid, motivate them, and create value. So with this remote learning, I don't think remote learning has to be an excuse for us not to do well. I want these kids to do equally or even better if compared to when we are in person. And if you notice, their classes are an hour and a half and the lab is only 1 hour. We are already extending that because we know the content needs it, right? So so that's basically it. I'm done, guys. If you have no more questions, that's about it. We'll send the slides.
Thanks,
Thank
Priya.
you. Thank you, guys. Sorry, go ahead. Oh, thank you. It was a thank you. Okay. Bye.
Thank you. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Priya.
Thanks. Bye. Bye, Rishi. Thanks, guys.
Bye.